Whew! What? Hey, ho! So let's be honest, we've all done it. And getting a flat tyre like this seems to be most commonly caused by pinching the tyre and popping the inner tube inside, known as a pinch flat. But all that's going to change with a set of brand new tubeless tyres. Stay tuned to see how I get on and get some tips for if you fit yours. But before all that, check out this little bad boy. A DIY wheel holder knocked up after a drunken conversation the night before by no one else but a fellow member and the all-time leader of the bike crew that I ride with, MTB. A square hollow piece of steel with a cut and a bend and a weld with an 11.8mm bolt, finished off with an awesome paint job, makes the perfect tool to work on your wheels in a vice or a bike stand. Nice one, Andy. Setting up the wheel like this should make the job a bit easier, and using the bike stand means I can choose the angle and the height that I'm working from. Sound little setup, but you can still get the job done working on the floor. Just be careful and take your time. I've always thought these Tamwell tyres look pretty mint, but now these ones have had the day, I've replaced them like for like with a brand new pair. But before you start ripping off your old tyres, always make sure your new ones have got this little symbol, and also that your rims are designed to take tubeless tyres. Once you've got your head round that, move on to step 1. Give it all a good clean, man. Getting rid of all that muck by giving your wheel a good scrub eliminates any risk of dirt getting inside your rim when you're putting your tubeless tyres on. And when everything's got to be airtight, that's the last thing you want if you're going to do the job right. So once it's clean as a whistle, get ready for step 2. Preparing the rim. To prepare the rim, you first need to take off your old tyre. And when it comes to MTB tyres, sometimes a lot of perseverance is needed. But if you're hard, you can get it off with your bare hands. Or, if you're like me, you can use a set of tyre levers instead. Pop the tyre off one side, and if you're usually riding with the inner tubes in, unscrew the washer on the valve and take it out. And fully remove the old tyre. You can see on this rim, there's already some tubeless tape on the inside, which seals the inside of the tyre, where the spokes fix in. So make sure you add this to give the rim an airtight seal. It's cheap enough, and apparently a lot of other decent sticky tapes will actually work if you're desperate, but I might save that test for another video. Another good wipe to make sure there's no muck or dust inside, and if you're adding tubeless tyres for the first time, this is where you add the tubeless valve. Using the washer to secure it tight to the rim presses the rubber against the inside and seals it, so no air or fluid can get out. So far so good. And finally, yeah boy! Step 3. It's all about the pop. Trouble is with new tyres, they can be a bit stiff, so you might want to unwrap yours and straighten them out a bit sooner than this. But when you are ready to put them on, always check you've got them the right way around, so the rotation points in the direction that your wheels turn when you're going forward. And generally you'll always see the logo on your tyres lining up with your valves on your rim. I'm not honestly sure why this is, but if you do, leave us a comment. I'm assuming it's just neater, or so you can find your valve a bit easier. Anyway, once you've wrestled it on, eventually with a combination of bare strength and tyre levers, check it to make sure it all looks even, leaving part of the tyre wall out at the bottom so you can pour the sealant in. And now for the best bit. I'm using Petey's tubeless sealant, because not only is it developed by the legend himself, it's for use under the most extreme conditions, biodegradable, and this trail pouch should do 2 tyres perfectly. I'm using the dotted line marked on the packaging to pour in the recommended amount for these 27.5 inch tyres. Getting the last bit of the tyre in can be hard, but if you make sure the other side of the tyre is pinched into the middle of the rim, it'll give it a little bit more slack. Once you've got the tyre popped in completely, give the wheel a good spin to get the fluid running round and seal it all up. And check there's nothing leaking out while you get ready to pump it up. A standard track pump works fine, but to get more volume of air in a short space of time into the tyre, you will need to take out the valve core. Again, there's no need for a specialist tool for this, just a standard adjustable spanner. To get air into the tyre, You don't need any fancy compressor or high pressure track pump. So I've just picked up this new track pump for about £15, which should do the trick. And I'm not really sure, but I've got a feeling this one's made in Germany. When you're attaching the pump, just have a last check on the valve and make sure it's nice and tight before you start pumping. Then just make sure you give it some until you finally hear it pop. Perfect. Now the tyre's fully seated, you can put the valve core back in by holding your thumb over the top of the valve and screw it back in nice and tight. After that, get the pressure exactly where you want it and you're done. That's it. Once you've done the other wheel, bang them back on your bike and give them a good spin to make sure they're sealed. What better excuse than to go for a ride? Especially while your bike's looking so fresh. Why not?
Right, let's have it.
I hope this has helped get your head round tubeless tyres, and you might want to consider subscribing so you can tune in for all the common struggles we all face on the mountain bike scene. Nice one.
Oh, it's alright. Whoa! Nearly did it again.